Oh, it's already started.
Hello.
Hello, Bronya, and the business of cake making world out there.
Yeah. How the devil are you today?
I'm very good. I'm very good. I've had to run Mark backwards and forwards to the garage today because his car had an MOT.
Oh,
So
did it
I'm lucky.
pass?
No, but it was quite cheap, the repair. So
Oh, that's all right. That's good.
no, now
I
he's safe.
hate MOTs.
I know. So it's just a pain in the bum.
Yeah,
Pain in the
MOTs. It's
bum.
one of those. It's one of those things that you sit there and go, I know it's not one of my children or anything, so why am I so worried about this? I think
Yeah.
it's the cost. I think it's the thought of the
Yeah.
cost of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never
Yeah. It
mind.
seems he is one of your delivery drivers. Then it's
Yeah. Not very often anymore, but
no,
in
but he does.
emergencies.
Like when we go to the Ideal Home Show.
Yes.
Yes, we did that last week. That was lovely.
It was.
It's a
It was.
nice
I had
day out.
such a nice day out. I slept all the way there on the coach and I slept all the way back.
And you carried your laptop around for nothing
No.
then.
No, I didn't use it once. But I did have a thoroughly nice day.
It was a very lovely day. Yeah.
I've got a couple of purchases.
Yeah. A couple of things we bought. Nothing cake related.
Do you know what I thought when I got home? I wanted to look at fridge freezers because I figured they'd have new age fridge freezers there, but they didn't have any.
They didn't have any. They didn't have any at all. But what was really funny though is so we're walking around the whole of the Ideal Home Show. Then we go, let's go and have something to eat. And up in like the food section, there was like,
Which is amazing.
Yeah. But there was a food stage, wasn't there?
Mm.
And what happens when we rock up? There's someone decorating a cake.
Yeah.
Of all the things that we could have watched,
Yeah.
there was what was her name? Someone, is it Juliet Sear or someone like that, wasn't it?
Something like that.
And she was decorating a cake. I'm like, would you believe that?
Yeah.
You know, we could have had anything, but we had cake decorating.
Yeah. So there you go.
Yes, there you go.
And what's today's podcast going to be about?
Right, so today, this is the last of our 6, so we're going to have a 2-week break. And a couple of weeks ago, we did a Q&A live, which was good fun. But we had lots and lots and lots of questions, and we had some left over, which because we didn't get around to all of them. And then I put a thing out on Instagram, and we've got a few more questions, so we're doing a Q&A because we like a Q&A, don't we?
We do.
So
I hope so.
So these are all questions from you, our lovely listener, that you've sent in, and I said, ask us anything, ask us about cakes, about us, about podcasting, and this is what we've got. So first off, we have, now I'm really sorry if I pronounce names wrong. I know how annoying it is being called Bronya Seafoot. I do know how annoying it is. So I think this is Aisha Flannery. How did Sammy juggle caking with young children? Because they are so unpredictable.
Well, the cakes or the children?
Both.
I was kind of lucky because my guys were a little bit older, but I have made cakes from when they were really little.
Yeah.
But I just stay up really late and do it.
Just wait for they're all asleep.
Yeah. But as they got older, they did help me out. Like if I did a late night, they'd come and sit with me, or they'd make things.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But there were a few times where I'm like, just go to bed, please.
See, I used to work with someone, and she's now a cake maker. It's really weird. So this lady I used to work with at DSI, the ballroom
place.
Yeah, the ballroom dance place, ballroom dress place. And she's now a cake maker. She's called Suzanne. And she has a nearly 5-year-old and twins that are 3. And she's a cake maker. Cool. And I saw something on her Facebook or on her Instagram the other day, and it was like, people always ask me when I get time to make cakes. And she said, basically, after 8:30 in the evenings.
Yes. Yeah, that is true.
Yeah. But I think also, how did you find it? Did your kids ever nick the food? Did they ever?
No, they weren't too bad with that because they're not really into cakes.
Right. They did
So
nick chocolate though. I do remember you running out of chocolate because they'd eaten
um
it.
I had an instant. Oh, they're forever eating the chocolate. Even now they're adults. But we did have an incident with the vodka and some 15-year-old boys who
Oh,
thought they'd help themselves to it
oh
and
dear.
fill the bottle up with water. So I
What,
caught
and think you
that.
wouldn't notice?
Yeah, yeah. But they're my one brother dobbed the other brother in. So that's how I found that out. Um,
Oh,
but yeah, I used to work when they went to bed,
yeah,
but it got easier as they got older. But when they're really little, that is really hard because also as well you have to put everything. You can't when you have a 2-year-old, you
yeah.
can't do cakes because
You
they
can't leave
touch
them anywhere,
everything.
can you? Yeah.
No,
And
I
they
know
don't have food
someone.
safe hands, do they? Let's face it.
No, no. And I do because I had a big dog. She ate half a plate of cupcakes once by climbing up on the side, and I do
Is that
know of
Pepper? She was
yeah,
lovely.
there was Pepper, and then I do know of somebody who hadn't put their cake up high enough, and their daughter got a chair and did
Oh,
a few
helped.
mouth marks and things like
Oh,
that.
gosh.
But yeah, you just have to be organized, I guess, and hope and pray that they go to sleep
Yeah.
because yeah, when they get up 4 or 5 times in a night
Oh, my word.
and you're
Yes.
trying to finish cakes, it's not good.
Yeah.
But anyone can do it if you've got the determination.
Yes.
You just
Yeah.
get it done when you can.
Yeah. Locks on bedroom doors are very good. No, I
No,
won't say
no,
that.
don't say that. But also as well, I have learned as long as you have your sheet and you plan everything out. So if you're working in advance, then you should be able to get it done. If
Yeah.
you leave it all to the last minute, then it's
Yeah.
just going to be so much harder.
Yeah. Preparation. But that, I mean, that's true of anything, isn't it? Because
Mm.
okay, kids are going to be there, but who's to say that something doesn't break or your mixer doesn't break or
Yeah,
you
or
know,
somebody's car breaks down and they phone
yeah,
you up and say, "Can you come and pick me up?"
yeah,
And I'm like, "No, I can't." So,
yeah,
so yeah, you got things like that. Also, or if people get ill as
yeah,
well. So
yeah. Sickness in the house is not always good. Yeah,
I'm
but
touch wood. I've not had that per se. Yeah,
good,
just
good.
jinxed
Right,
myself, haven't I?
no. Okay, so now Devon made cakes. How do I make my business look more professional? I don't know where to start.
Oh my goodness.
Right. Well, first of all, go back and listen to the episode with Isa from Studio Koya about branding
Yes.
because I think it's all about getting that one look and
Hmm.
feel for your business.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, whether that is like, whether it's a fun look, whether it's a elegant look, whether it's a very corporate look, as long as you have one look and feel for your entire business and consistency, keep it consistent right the way across. Don't have like one font over there and then a color over there that's
Yeah.
different. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
complete
Um,
consistency.
yeah, because also as well, when people look for you, they'll they'll know your brand. They'll
Yeah.
know your logo.
Yeah, they'll
Like if you have the
recognize who it
same on
is.
Instagram, the same
Yeah.
on Facebook, the same on Google,
Yeah.
then
And your stickers, if you put stickers anywhere or
yeah.
if you're putting allergen stickers out and anywhere you use it, yeah, be one.
And if you struggle to find inspiration for like cards and stuff, or even just a starter point, think of something you like. Like I like Marie Antoinette.
Mhm.
Um, So, like, think of things associated with that, all lace, pearls,
Yeah.
feathers, things like that. And then you could take a bit of that item if you're struggling, and then something hopefully will come from
Yeah.
you looking at that. But Canva is
Yeah.
ideal. It's got things like that, hasn't
Yeah,
it?
there is a lot on there. And do a whole suite of everything you're doing. So every time you put out an Instagram post, what I do a lot of, food photography. So for my blog, I do a lot of food photography. Now I have certain colours that I use in my my brand. So I have lots of things like tea towels and props and things like that, and they're
Yes.
all the same colour, so it all brings it together in all my
Yeah.
photography. So whilst I'm not going, right, there is my logo in the background, there's like something that hints towards it's me and my colours and who I am. That kind of consistency.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That sometimes you have to, because like I've got all my branding done, but it's very corporate because men did it. But that's all right, men, and I'm a soft touch and I don't go, oh, this is what I want. But now I know that if that's what you want, just go
Yeah,
for
just
it.
do it. Because you've recently changed a lot of your bits and pieces on your Instagram, haven't you?
Yeah.
Because you've got on Daisy, you've got your little dot on the eye
Icon.
as a little cake, isn't
Cake.
it?
Yes, as
And I
opposed to a
looked at it the other day, I'm like,
daisy.
yeah, and I'm like, oh, that's so cute, and it's like all the way across, and yeah, and it's
Because that was another thing. When you looked at my name, Daisy Cake, it had a little daisy, like on my car. I've got a little daisy,
yeah,
and Sam, who worked with me last year, amazing. She said, "Well, people are going to look at that and think you're a florist." They're not. If they could see Daisy Cake.
yeah.
Oh no, they can see Daisy, and underneath it says Cake, Hampshire.
Right. So
So
the word cake was smaller than the word
smaller,
daisy.
yeah.
Okay.
So try and make it so people can see
See what you
what you
do.
do, even if you
Yeah.
like have a silhouette of a cake, or you have a big bun.
Big buns.
With a cherry on top. So that's that sort of thing. I hope that's helped. What do you
Yeah,
think?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Mm.
Okay. Oh, now this one I can't pronounce this one. I'm really sorry. Cascricado. I'm just gonna. That's who
Yeah.
it's from. I'm sorry if I've said it wrong. I do apologise. Right. Tips for getting started and ignoring your inner critic and doubt. So I think what this means is, when you're starting out and you're like, it's like that imposter syndrome. It's you sabotage yourself by saying, no, I
Yeah.
can't possibly run my own business. I can't do that.
Yeah.
And I think that's what this is asking us about.
Yeah.
And I get it. I really, really get it.
Yeah.
Because although
Yeah.
we probably sound really confident chatting to one another, um, yeah, if you put me
Sometimes.
in the room with a load of people and ask me to talk about cakes, sometimes I'd get, if someone says to me, what do you do? And I'll be like, yeah, I make cakes. And I'm quite happy, but I don't know, other times I get when you're starting, when people go, yeah, I don't know whether I'm good enough, whether they've got the support from their friends and family to
Yeah.
make them feel good enough.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's quite important as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Having support behind you.
Yeah.
One tip I think is quite important is, and I'm very guilty of this, but I think about it subconsciously now when I do it, is
Right.
when you're on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, looking at other people's stuff, you should look at it as to go, oh, I like what they've done. How have they done that? Maybe can I replicate that? Not the whole like hog of sorry, I lost my drift then.
It's my fault.
There's someone creeping in the
Yeah,
background.
could you shut the door, please?
Yeah.
Sorry.
He didn't slam the doors.
No, not yet. He's still there. Oh, he's locked a dog in here now.
Okay, we'll deal with that. We'll deal with that in a minute.
Yeah. Okay. So if you're going to look at other people's stuff, look at it with a view of learning, not, oh, look at how good their stuff is.
Yeah,
It's so much better than my
yeah.
stuff, because everybody's different. Everybody has to start from somewhere.
And also, what you see on things like Instagram and Facebook, you're only seeing the smallest, tiniest piece of someone's life.
Jigsaw. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, so you're seeing their best work that they want you to see, they want their clients to see.
Mm.
They have produced work that is shit in comparison. They've
Yeah.
started somewhere. Everyone starts somewhere, and a lot of people don't. You don't post the cake that fell over, because
No.
you want your customers to know that you can do good work. So
Yeah. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's a case of, you're in a doubt. I do get that you will have inner doubt, and we all have it, but I think you need to go every day, go, what am I doing, what can I do, what am
Mm.
I good at,
Mm.
and
And
focus on the positive side of what you're doing.
yeah. Yes. And write a business plan.
It all comes down to that business plan.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you are good enough. You really are good enough, and
Yeah.
you will get better every time you work, and every time you make a cake, you will get a little bit better.
Yeah.
Everyone starts from somewhere.
Yeah.
We've been doing this a long, long time.
Yeah.
My first cakes, maybe I'll pull some of my first cakes up and put them on Instagram, and you can see how terrible I was once upon a time. But you just keep having to keep going. You just
Yeah.
have to keep going.
Yeah. Definitely. And enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
you're going to have bad days. Everybody has
yeah.
bad days. But imagine, like, I'm sat downstairs making dust balls with eyes. I mean, how fun is that?
But yeah,
30
and also
dust
the
balls.
more you enjoy it, the more it will show in your work as well,
Yeah.
actually. And
Yeah.
that's a lot. Another key I would say to this is, find your niche and find the things you're good at and do
Mm,
them. Don't try and do things that you're not enjoying,
mm.
because you won't be good at them, you won't enjoy them, and it'll show in your work, and then you'll
Yeah.
feel crap about it.
Yeah.
Do the stuff you do enjoy, and you'll be better at it, and you'll build confidence from that.
Yeah. If you can't do macarons, don't do them.
So says Sammy.
Yeah.
Right, this is from Rebecca Wegman. What are the key differences between how cakes are typically made in the US and how they are made in England or other countries that have unique ways of making or decorating cakes? Also, what are the rules for a home kitchen in England? Is it hard to set up? Do you need a commercial kitchen? What was the process like for you? As you may have guessed with these questions, I'm from the US. I love the show and listen to every episode. I'm just starting out myself here in the States and was just curious about how different it is here to there. You guys are awesome. Have a nice day. Thanks, Rebecca.
Oh, that's so nice.
Right, so should we unpick this and do it one by one? Right, so what are the key differences between how cakes are typically made in the US and how they are made in England? I don't think there's a lot of difference.
I can think of one.
Go on.
Cups.
Yes, measurements.
Yes.
Measurements. That is probably the
Measurements.
main, one of the
Yeah.
main things. We measure everything by grams and kilos and
Mm-hmm.
milliliters. And American bacon, there's a lot of cups
Yeah. Like,
and tablespoons and
yeah.
sticks
And
of butter.
yeah, and American sticks of butter are a different size
To
to
our sticks of
ours.
butter. Yeah. The other thing, I think a lot. So in the US, I think box mix is more of a thing, or
Yeah.
doctored box mix. People buy a box mix and they doctor it and make it better and add
Yeah.
to it. I know a friend of mine, she's from Texas, and she came over and she went to make a cake because she came over to live here, and she went to make a cake, and she went, I just thought I'd make a really easy cake, and I went into Asda, and she went, there's no box mixes. There was like 3 different types, and we don't do that here. That's not
No.
something we do. Whereas they have a massive array of different
Yeah.
box mixes in
Yeah.
America. But I suppose there's other little things like ingredients. The butter is different from ours. Our butter is
Yeah.
more yellow.
I know we make it over here, but it's quite a new thing. But red velvet cake,
Yeah, yeah. Red velvet is
whoopies.
yeah, whoopie whoopie pies. To you too, Mrs. But also things like the butter, because the butter is whiter in America.
Yeah.
Buttercream is whiter.
Yes.
And so our buttercream is like really creamy looking, and we have to add whitener to make it whiter.
I was going to say something really stupid then.
Go on.
Do you think it's because their chickens are white? And that's why they have white eggs? And we got brown chickens, so we get brown eggs. That's got nothing to do with butter. And in other parts of the world as well, you get different sweetnesses as well.
Yeah.
Because you get say in, oh my gosh, Dubai, they do rose and pistachio cake, and they make it with polenta and things like that.
And the other thing, in other parts of the country that I've noticed is like the wetness of cake. So they can make, I suppose it's where they because we've got quite a humid atmosphere here, so we very rarely have to put syrups and things on our cakes because our cakes are kind of naturally moist. I knew you were going to laugh then. But I know maybe in like drier countries, that's when they start putting a lot of syrup on their cake, and their cakes are wetter because of the syrup that they put on them. But I think the actual techniques are pretty similar between the UK and the US, I'd say.
Definitely. With the like creaming the butter and the sugar and adding the eggs and then the flour.
Yeah,
that
I don't
sort
think
of
there's a
thing.
lot of I think the other thing is that we call our cakes sponge cakes. And I remember where was it? There was something about, there was a question on Facebook once about a sponge cake. What is a sponge cake? I keep being seen, and all the English people were going, "But it's just a cake, isn't it? It's just a cake." And then a lot of different people in America are like, "Well, no, it's this type of cake, and it's that type of cake, and it's this type of cake." It's like, no, we just call cake sponge. That's what it is.
Yeah, we do. I thought everybody did that.
But generally, I think our ways of making are very similar. Probably, the measuring is the biggest difference. So also, what are the rules for home kitchen in the UK? Is it hard to set up? Do you need a commercial kitchen? And what was the process like? It's really easy here.
Yeah.
Really easy.
As long as you can go onto the government website, they give you all the tips and tricks of what you should have in your kitchen. Obviously, you should have temperature thingies. What are they called?
Thermometers.
Oh yeah, thank you. And your fridge and your oven to check your oven. Actually, I must get a new one for my oven.
A new oven one, yeah. But I mean, to set up here, you literally have to register with your council.
Yeah.
And within 28 days, you can start trading.
Yeah.
Whether they, I mean, I've been trading. I moved to a new borough, which is what I guess what would be a state in America. But I moved to a new borough nearly 4 years ago, and I haven't been inspected yet. But I
moved here in 2020, and they have just contacted me.
I was contacted 2 weeks ago, and now he's disappeared again. He's just disappeared into nothingness.
Oh well, I said to her, "Don't come next week, but you can come any time after that."
but it is that easy. The only thing I would say, so there's certain regulations like you need hand washing nearby.
Yeah.
Whether that's downstairs.
And I think you need the allergy sheets. Displayed as well.
Yeah. So there's lots of regulations, but it's pretty easy to set up. You don't have to modify your home. I think in America, because it's different from state to state to state. In some states, you have to have a cottage industry license and all that. You don't need any of that in the UK. No. You literally have to register your kitchen. You have an inspection from your local council.
Yeah, and when you get your inspection, they give you your hygiene rating, which hopefully will be a 5.
Yeah. It generally is. I've never met a cake maker that hasn't got a 5. I suppose the only thing that may stand in your way is if you are in rented accommodation and your landlord doesn't let you.
Yeah, because that affects the insurance as well.
Yeah. But yeah, in the UK, it's actually really easy to set up
Yeah,
a
it
home
is.
kitchen.
Yeah.
Really, really easy.
Because you
And
also get them pop up, the cheap bakers. They pop
yeah,
up, don't they?
yeah.
Selling their
Because it is,
cheap
and it doesn't
wares and
cost anything.
fairs.
It doesn't
Mm.
cost anything to register with your council. But I know in America there are some states that allow you to bake at home. There are some states that don't allow you to bake at home, and I know it's much more complicated
Mm.
than the
Mm.
luxury that we have here.
Mm. I didn't know that.
Right, okay, moving on. How do you greet a customer collecting a cake?
Yo, bitch! Wow.
Oh, okay, go
Well,
on then.
so I used to before Sam. I used to invite them in. I used to say, "Here, hello, how are you? Look at your cake." And now I have a table by my front door,
Oh, okay.
and I put the cakes on the table
Yeah,
because I am at the top of Ben Nevis.
yeah.
Um, uh, I
Give them a moment to rest.
yeah. So what Sam said to do was when you open the door, say, "Hi, here's your cake. I'll carry it down to your car for you, and put it in your boot, and you can look there." But because my house is at the top of the hill, that just wasn't working for me.
Right,
So
yeah.
what I do
What, in
is I
case you had to
have.
carry it all the way back again?
Touch wood, that's never happened. So I open the door and I say, "Hello, cake for Mrs. Smith." And
Yeah,
then I take the lid off. They go, "Ooh!" I put the lid on. I go, "I carry it down to the car for you." And then that's just like minutes and seconds. I've
yeah,
only ever had two pain in the ass customers who've gone, "Oh, I don't like that." But
right.
because they're in my hallway and all the doors are shut, they're not. I'll say, "I'll just go and get a paintbrush so that I can alter that." So they're
Right,
still
okay.
stuck in my hallway,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
they're not
they're not.
moving away from there.
I don't,
Yeah,
because you don't want them coming in your house.
no.
One, you don't know these people, and two, my kitchen's probably messy.
Yeah, see, when I had people collecting cakes, because I generally delivered, that was
Mm,
my general things. That was part of my service. I would deliver. Firstly, because I didn't want them coming to my house. And it's not because my house was a mess. It was because I had two dogs. Actually, at the
mm,
time, I had a dog that was blind and always insisted on sleeping behind the front door.
yeah.
And he was 13 years old, and to try and move him was just a nightmare. I couldn't get him out of the way. And then we got a puppy that was a Labrador.
Mm,
And so he was like, I want to say hello to and love everyone there is.
mm,
So to try and usher the dogs behind a door somewhere and then shut the door and then them scratching the door down, all that, I used to do deliveries.
mm,
On the rare occasion I did have a collection, I used to have a dresser by my front door, and I used to
mm.
put the cake on that, and I used to shut all the doors, and they
Yeah,
would come in and pick it up from that dresser.
yeah.
Do you get people signing off your cakes now, or do you not bother with that?
I don't get them to sign off
Yeah.
at
Did
all.
that change after COVID?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, very much so. But when I send them their invoice, it has got a tick box for them to go, "Yes, I agree to your terms and
Right.
conditions."
Yeah.
So that's up to them. They've
Yeah.
got it electronically.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I'd prefer it if they don't come in the house. That just makes my life easier. And
Yeah.
literally, you have the door open. Look at your cake. Okay, I'll carry it down for
Yeah. And
you.
you always carry it to the car, do you?
Yeah, well, yeah,
Yeah.
because my steps are so steep, I wouldn't want them to
Okay. Yeah,
fall
that's fair
down
enough.
them.
See, I would always carry a cake to the car, and when I hand over a cake, because
I'm
people,
doing a podcast. Okay, I thought so. Sorry.
when you hand over a cake, people tend to think that the boxes are much more sturdy than they are, so they kind of squash the boxes. So
Yeah, or
even
lean
just
it
handing
into the.
over a cake, even when handing over a cake, it's like, right, hold it from underneath, and it's going through
Yeah.
all the instructions. And do you tell them about the allergens, or do you just expect them to find the sticker on the?
No, because I have a whole a sheet now of
Okay.
printed out.
Do you want to let your dog out?
Oh God, what is it? No, she's making a bed on the bed. So she's just just about to go to sleep. She's doing the spins. I do apologise.
Right, so you have an allergen sheet.
Yes, and that has the sticker on it.
Right.
So, but it covers everything, so that I don't have to write. There may be traces of nuts or anything. It's all covered on that sheet.
Right.
This cake is made in a kitchen with allergens.
Yeah.
So some.
Do you point it out to them, or do you give this
Yeah,
one separately?
I do.
Right.
No,
Okay.
I have been going. I put it on the box with a card stapled to it,
Right.
and I'll say, "Oh, this is your allergen sheet." Quite often, I get them to carry the allergen sheet.
Okay. Good plan,
As well,
Stan.
and with a card or two in it. So and then I just carry it down, and then that way I can make sure that it's gone in their car properly, and they're not just throwing it in the back seat.
Yeah. Even when we had the shop, George would we used to tell people to pull up outside, and George would often take the cake out to the car.
Yeah.
And very rarely did we let people walk out of the door unless they turned up on the train or something. Which
does happen. I have quite a lot of people walking here, and they'll go, "Oh, we didn't realise it was going to be so big or heavy."
I have to say, I remember people used to turn up with like a Waitrose or a Sainsbury's bag, and it's like, I ain't going to fit in that.
No, you're paying a lot of money for a good cake. You're not putting that in a Sainsbury's bag.
Or thinking they can tip it up on its end and put it in the bag.
Or put it in the back of the buggy. That happened as well. So that's what I do.
Right.
When customers, and I've noticed as well, someone knocked the door early yesterday, and I opened it, and I was like, I have no idea who you are. Are you a customer? And I went, hello, how can I help you? Like that. And she went, hi, I'm here to see Jeff. I'm like, oh.
There is you opening the door like
like a shop. Who are you? Who is she?
Mind you, there is always that fear that if someone rings the doorbell, there is that fear of, have I forgotten a cake?
Yeah.
Always.
Yes. Yeah. I did say that to her, actually. I thought you were a customer.
Right. Okay. The next one is from A Magical Slice. Do you have any tips on making buttercream wedding cakes on hot summer's days? Also, I love the cake in the background. Now that cake, right? So I put a picture up on our Facebook group of me and Sammy, and the cake in the background is one of Sammy's dummies.
Oh yes.
So and it is a very, very pretty cake, but it is a buttercream cake. So I see where she's going. Yeah,
I've still got it actually. It's just about to go through the dishwasher.
Oh, is
but it's so faded.
Yeah. And it's been in your conservatory, isn't it? Yeah, and it won't last the summer in your conservatory. Let's face it. Yeah. So, do you have any tips for making buttercream wedding cakes on a hot summer days? Don't.
Yeah, but sometimes.
Right.
Happens,
my big tip with this is so no matter what you do to buttercream, you can put egg white powder in it, you can put icing, royal icing, sugar in it, all of those things. At the end of the day, butter will melt on a hot day. You cannot get away from butter melting in heat. So what I would say is manage the expectations of your client. Tell them you are getting married. Say they're getting married in August in a marquee. The humidity is like off the scale. The heat is off the scale. There is every chance that cake is not going to make it through the day. So manage their expectations and say to them from the very outset, when they sit down in December to book that cake in the freezing cold weather, say to them, if it's a really hot day, I may have to deliver this cake really late, and you're going to have to cut it as soon as you can. Just manage their expectations, because nothing on earth will stop butter from melting in heat.
So I will say this though.
Go on.
If you're prepared and you make the cake not on the day or the day before, because it's a naked cake or whatever, a buttercream cake. If you make it, say your wedding's on the Saturday, make it on the Wednesday, so allow it to cool completely.
Yeah.
And then crumb coat it, everything on the Thursday, then final coat it on the Friday, and then each time you're chilling it so that cake is as cold as it can
Yeah.
possibly be.
Yeah.
That will make a difference as well. And if when
Deliver
you're
it cold.
delivering,
Deliver it as cold as you can. Yeah.
yeah, and set up, make sure that your car is in the cool
Yeah.
before you set off,
Yeah.
and then make sure there's no traffic
Yeah. Just do
on the
everything
way.
you can
Yeah,
to prepare.
or
And
even freeze milk bottles to have in your car with you around the cake.
around the yeah, just make so
Empty
yeah,
milk bottles with water in them.
not milk.
Yeah, because if they explode,
Ooh.
sticky.
But yeah, so I mean, I've delivered buttercream cakes in the summer, and it's been fun. I mean, I always would ask what the venue is. Does the venue have air
Yeah,
conditioning? Um, if it's got air conditioning, you're going to be all right. Once you get there
yeah.
and you set up, as long as it doesn't melt in the car on the way, you're going to be fine.
Mm.
Um, it's just that there are
And,
the odd,
and maybe if you know that it's a buttercream cake in a hot weather season, put it in that customer's terms and conditions.
yeah,
Make a
yeah.
little sub note.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Make sure they know. And the other thing, I mean, I know we had, or I had in my terms and conditions that if I thought it was going to be inappropriate, so like a buttercream cake, in, if I knew it was going into a marquee or whatever, and I thought it was going to be inappropriate, I did say that I would always check the weather the week beforehand, and I would contact them, and possibly we would consider doing a ganache covered cake or a fondant covered cake.
Mm.
Just to so then it's just managing their expectations, so you don't
Yeah,
suddenly turn up on the day and go, oh, I'm sorry, but it was hot and it melted. Just
yeah,
make sure they know it's going to happen. It's
yeah.
potentially going to happen.
And don't be scared to say something, because I'm
No.
just thinking back to when I first started doing cakes that first year in 2017. I made a beautiful buttercream cake, but it did go into a very hot marquee,
Yeah,
and it was sweating. The
yeah,
cake was sweating when I left, and I was like, "Whoa, whoa, what
yeah,
do I do?"
yeah,
But I just left it.
yeah,
But
but
they were,
you
look,
yeah,
the
but
luck of
say, but
the
it might be that you have to
buttercream
say to the
bottled.
venue, you say to the venue, that cake's on the edge. If
Yeah,
you see it going, put it in the
chiller.
chiller or something. I also had I think I've told this story before. It was a really, really hot day. It was a fondant covered cake that was going into a marquee. And it was literally around the corner from the shop. I decorated it overnight in the shop. We had aircon in the shop, and I came in at like 5 in the evening, and then left at I think 4 in the morning because I decorated it all overnight. Left the aircon on in the shop, and left it in the cool. And then the next day because we were in Romsey, and there was Romsey Abbey, and they were getting married at the Abbey, and they told us they were having bells at the Abbey. So
Mm.
I phoned the pub that the marquee was in, and I said, look, as soon as I hear the bells, I will bring the cake round, but this cake needs to be cut as soon as the bride and groom get there. I can't guarantee it for more than, because I mean it was something like 45 degrees. It was like the hottest day of the year. The humidity was off the scale. So because no matter how much you try to dry a cake out, if you've got humidity, it will get back into that buttercream.
Mm.
So yeah, just prepare everyone,
Yeah.
and good luck.
Yeah.
So I don't mean to scare the crap out of anyone. But we're cake makers, and it is cake, and there's nothing more you can do about it. That's the point. It's cake.
Mm. Mm.
Cake doesn't want to stay upright. It wants to fall apart. Right. Okay. This is an interesting one. Do you think it is financially viable to start a business in today's economic climate?
Yes.
Yes.
Most definitely. Because
There's never going to be a good time, is there?
no. And if you're going to do it, you're going to do it. That
Yeah.
whether it's in hard times or good times. If it's good times, make sure you save enough for the hard times.
Yeah.
But I think you
If
you
you can
start
get
off
through,
better.
a
Yeah.
hard time, good
Yeah.
times are going to be really good. And also, no matter how tough times are, there are people with money out there.
Yeah. Hell
There are
yeah.
people that I mean, you've just had one of the busiest couple of weeks I've known you to have.
Yeah, well, I've got another busy couple of weeks coming
Yeah,
up.
exactly. So yeah, there is never ever a good time to start a business ever,
No,
because when
but
it's like when it's when it's good
business plan.
times, sorry,
Business
business.
plan.
You're like a record with a needle stuck,
Well,
my
do you
love.
know what? Before we started doing the podcast, I'd never really heard of a business plan, and like now I've done the podcast, and we've done a lot of business.
Yeah,
Um, what are they called
talk.
now? Yes. I really think it's something you should
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
Definitely.
There's always going to be something that's going to get in the way. Um,
Yeah, there's always going to be a disaster.
yeah,
Oh, we're so optimistic tonight, aren't we? Oh,
but
yeah.
but also, even in good times, what happens in good times is you get a lot of people starting businesses, so you suddenly get a lot of competition.
Yeah.
So in struggling times, there's not so much competition necessarily, but there are people still out there wanting cakes.
Yeah.
And I know I've said this before, the cupcake boom happened
Yeah.
in a major recession.
And you hear so many stories like when COVID was happening of people going, "Oh, I'm going to start a business," and
Yeah,
they've done
yeah,
amazingly.
yeah, exactly. So don't let anything stand in your way. If you are setting up a business, go
Go
for
for
it.
it.
Just go for
Yeah.
it. Right, okay. What do you say when someone asks you what you do for a living?
I laugh because I know what they're going to say. I go, "Oh, I always say I'm a baker. Actually, I don't say I own my own company.
Oh,
I
really?
should. I should say that, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
I should say I own my own company. I'm a baker.
I'm a CEO.
Yeah, I'm a CEO.
See, I say I'm a cake maker.
Uh,
I do say
I
I'm a
always
cake
say I'm a
maker.
baker. I always say I'm a baker. And then they go, "Oh, what do you make?"
Yeah. But
And I go, "Wedding cakes, birthday cakes, celebration cakes, you name it, I make it."
yeah. I always say I'm a cake maker. And then if I'm with my husband, he will always turn around and go, and she's a podcaster and she's got her own blog. She's got a very successful podcast. And I'm like, yeah, I podcast too. Okay. But isn't it funny how other people will sing your praises more than you will?
Yeah, yeah,
Always. But yeah,
yeah.
I tell people I'm a
I
cake
do
maker.
talk about the podcast a lot. And sometimes you can hear yourself and you think, I need to shut up. I'm being a podcast bore. But and I'll go, "Oh my god, oh my god!" And we interviewed blah blah blah, and people are looking at me because nobody who's
Nobody
not in the
knows who they
cake, yeah,
are.
they all go, "Oh yeah," but yeah.
Yeah, so
And
you
when
say you're a
you're at
baker.
yeah, I say I'm a baker, and when I'm at the tills in the
Oh
shops,
yeah.
that's when I get asked the most, and
Are you
I
baking
always laugh.
something? Yes.
Oh, going to be doing some baking.
With 50,000 icing sugar packets
Yeah.
coming through, yeah.
So yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what I say. I'm a baker.
That's
Oh, I
interesting. So
should say.
you don't
I sh-
mention being a cake maker or a cake artist or
No, I always
cake
downplay
decorator.
myself because I'm just so amazing. I should go. Oh, I own my own company.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to practice.
Okay, go on.
Hi, I'm. You're
Sally,
gonna.
what do you do for a living?
Well, I've done quite well for myself. I own my own business. Yes, yes, that's right. An artisan cake maker,
Oh, well, you
designing
know
and
what?
creating
My friend
cakes.
makes cakes. Let me show you some pictures on.
Yeah. Well, fuck her because I also do a podcast.
Oh, right. Okay. So, another one from America. Is this from America? Maybe this isn't. I think it's the other. No, I've got another one that's from America. Sorry, I do apologise. So this is Casey Wagaman. How do you calculate how much to charge for sculpted cakes since they are unique and you don't know exactly how much time they will take to make? What is your setup like now that you are baking at home versus at the shop? Have you changed what you will and won't bake because you are baking at home now? Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you for all that you both share. You have been tremendously helpful. Right.
Thank you.
Let's go back again. Right, so how do you calculate how much you charge for sculpted cakes since they are unique and you don't know exactly how much time they will take? It's funny because you with experience, you kind of do know how much time they will take. Do you not
Mm,
think?
yes, but I now have my prices on a sheet, and
Hmm.
I have a list. So um, I'll have a t-shirt cake, there's a bottle cake, there's a bear cake, there's a guitar cake,
Oh, okay.
and then it says how many portions you get in that cake.
So say someone
And
came along to you though and went, I want a dog. I want
okay,
my pug.
well, first of all, I say, well, how many do you want it for? And then I say, because I can't make it smaller than this
Yeah.
because I'm not a magician.
Yeah. And I've got tiny hands. Yeah.
Teeny tiny fan. So I tend to say that it starts from. I prefer to do an 8-inch. If I'm gonna make a pug, say
Yeah.
I'll work it out on an 8-inch mix, and
Right.
then if they want it bigger, I'll work it
So how do
out.
you work out the timings?
So I have my sheet. I list down every job that I will have to do.
Right.
I will list down bake the cake, make the buttercream, cover the cake, cover the board, cut how long I think it will take it to carve it, to make all the little bits and bobs like the
Yeah.
ears, say, or the tail. How long if I'm going to use the airbrush.
Yeah.
So every job is listed,
So
and
rather
then
than seeing it as like that cake is
yeah,
X amount, you are breaking down every single
yeah, and
process
then
that
you
you're doing.
put a time down next to it of how long you think it's going to take,
Right.
and then you work it out, like
Yeah.
work out how much your hourly rate is.
So you're good. See, if I get asked for a sculpted cake, I tend to look. I don't know. Maybe it is just experience after making
Yeah,
quite a few sculpted cakes with structure in them. That's the other thing, is knowing if you're going to put structure in them,
yeah,
if you're going
that's
to
right.
put
And you
nuts
have
and
to,
bolts and all that sort of
yeah,
stuff.
and you have to account for that with time,
And
because also,
the planning and the getting the
yeah,
jigsaw out and that. But it's
yeah,
maybe it's just because I've made so many, I kind of can look and have a rough. I can say, right, that's going to take about 8 hours. That's going
mm,
to take about 10 hours.
mm,
So I kind of have a rough. But I think
yeah.
that's just experience,
Yeah,
probably.
definitely. But I'm using this because I'm quite bad with my time. I have this. I really find it hard to concept how long something is going to
Right.
take me.
Okay.
So if I find that I've taken longer than I thought to do it,
Yeah.
I can go back and see where I've misjudged the
Oh, okay.
time
Yeah.
on it
Yeah.
as well, which is
Yeah.
quite helpful for the next time you
For
try
next time,
something
yeah,
up.
it's like building your experience. Yeah.
Mm.
Right. And what is your setup like now you're baking at home versus at the shop? And have you changed what you will and won't bake? Right. I'm going to go with the second one. Have you changed what you will and won't bake? When we were at the shop, we would bake everything.
Mm.
Anyone came in and asked for anything, I would say yes. Everyone would then stand behind me going, no. But I, as the business owner, paying the bills, would go, yeah, we can do that. That's not a problem.
Mm.
Um, and now I wouldn't do that. Now there are certain cakes I wouldn't do. I wouldn't do individually iced cakes. I don't do kids' birthday cakes. I don't do like a white cake with a couple of figures on the top. I wouldn't do any of that because it doesn't interest me and I'm not having to pay shop bills, shop staff wages. I'm not feeding like this monster that's eating all my money
Mm.
so that I have to say every single contract. So now the difference now is I make cakes that I want to make and I charge better for those cakes that I want to make.
Yeah.
Um, and as for the setup, it's just neater and tidier because I'm not making everything all day, every day. I don't have to have 50 billion different tins.
Mm.
I've just got the tins that I need. I've got a couple of mixers. I've got one big toolbox full of my tools. I don't have to have 20 different varieties of petal cutters because I know I'm never going to use them all.
Mm.
And I don't need 4 people making the same thing at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we, like is it the 5-petal rose cutter? We had about 4 or 5 of them, didn't we?
Yeah.
But it might be because we were all sat there making
I've
roses.
literally just pulled all those out and used them this week. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I would say I'm much more streamlined. I get to pick and choose what I make now. That's the biggest difference. What about you?
Well, I definitely don't do macarons
I knew that was
anymore.
coming.
Or biscuits.
Yeah.
Biscuits. Though I do make a mean biscuit, it is
Yeah.
delicious. But royal ice ones. But my kitchen setup now, compared to when I first started, is so much better.
Is it?
Yeah.
Or
It's
streamlined?
streamlined, yeah. So before, if you said to me, "Oh, where are your numbers?" I'd go, "Well, there's some there. There's some over
Yeah.
there in that room, and there's some in there." Now, if you ask me where all my numbers are, I'll go, "They're there." Where are all your circle cutters?
Yeah.
I've got a drawer for shapes. I've got a drawer for flowers. A drawer for leaves.
Do you have less tut? I mean, I have much, much less tut.
Definitely. What I did was I've gone through everything and I've taken out that, the stuff you go, I
I
might
might use
use.
them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
That,
think I did that and gave them all to you.
yeah. Well, they're now in a massive box in my stock room. But I'm definitely much more streamlined, and I'm spending less money.
I was going to say, I think it's also a lesson in the further you get through your cake career, it's a lesson in spending less money on stuff. You don't need all the latest stencils and
No.
cutters and
Because
impression mats and
because they're quite expensive,
yeah,
and sometimes the fashion of it makes you buy it,
yeah,
and then you get it and you don't actually like it,
yeah,
and might have spent a lot of money. I tell you what, I bought sweet stamp sets,
yes, because they were
and
very fashionable, weren't they?
yeah, and they still are massive.
Yeah,
But when I got them, I think they were like £100, which for
oh,
me is a lot of money
yeah,
for maybe 2 sets. I think I got, and I hated
isn't
them.
that funny?
I hated them so much, and I felt awful. And I just stuck them in a drawer, and I never used them until just recently, where I also won a competition. I always win the
You
competitions.
do always win the
Yeah,
competitions.
I won a competition. I won 2 sweet stamp sets and a miniature set and all these little gadgets and
God,
stuff. Which is when I really thought, oh God, I've got all this. I need to start
yeah,
using it. So I went to their stands at one of the shows and got them to show me how to do it properly. And
right,
now I use them all the time, and I think they're
okay,
brilliant. So sometimes you can buy, like, the Pro Froster was
yeah,
another one. We
yeah.
both thought it was an
we
awful
thought it was a
product.
gimmick, didn't we?
Yeah.
No.
So yeah, don't get taken in by all the gimmicks, because
But I mean, there are some, and it's like the Ag Bay. I've got an Ag Bay, and yes, it was a lot of money, but it was an amazing
yeah.
buy. It
Well,
was
you
a
got your
really good
money's
buy.
worth out of
Yeah.
that.
But I am so much more streamlined than I was. I've literally got,
Yeah.
so I've got like a pull along toolbox with all my gear in. I've got a couple of little pulley out shelf things, and I've just got a load of tins. And that's
Yeah.
literally all I've got now.
Yeah.
You don't need lots of stuff. So I'm really streamlined.
Yeah. In my workspace, I've got all my dusts in a little drawers.
Yeah.
I've got all my colours in a swirly whirly thing that I bought off my friend Sid for a £5. And I have one pot for my paintbrushes
Yeah.
and one pot for my tools. Whereas
Yeah.
before, I had a pot there with my ball tools, a pot there with this, that,
Yeah,
and
because
the
why
other.
do you need 28 ball tools, you know?
Yeah, because you're only going to use 2 of them.
So yeah, I would say that my setup has changed a lot.
Yeah.
And what I make, but that's because what I make now has changed a lot, because I only make things that I want to make or that
Yeah.
I'm happy making. I don't
And you
take,
can adjust everything as you go,
yeah,
which I think is nice. Like the Mr. Health and Safety, or Mrs. or
yeah,
they are going to come and visit me, and I know that I'm going to go through everything, give it an extra clean.
Yeah.
But I will streamline. I think, oh, I'm going to get rid of that. I
Yeah,
don't
don't
use
need
it
that.
anymore.
Don't need that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because that saves you time.
Yes. Yeah. Because you're not constantly cleaning and looking for
Oh,
tut
looking
and
for stuff. Oh my God.
and finding places to put tut.
Yeah.
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 Right. Okay. I think this is the last one. This is the one that's from America. So this is the Homemaker Bakery. I haven't told you about this one. This one came in late on Instagram, so you haven't seen this one. What is your absolute favourite cake to make and why? Also, love you guys so much. I'm always listening to your podcast on my baking days.
Oh.
Much love from South Carolina.
Oh
I know.
my God.
Right, so what is your absolute favourite cake to make and why? Are we talking flavour? Are we talking style?
Well, oh gosh, there's so many I like
Right,
to
shall I go
make.
first?
Yes.
My absolute favourite cake to make is a structured, sculpted cake. Something that I
Yes.
can really get my teeth into. Something that involves power tools, wood, metal.
Gotta love a power tool.
If I can get the workmate out and the jigsaw out, I'm very happy.
Yeah.
Something that I've really got to think about how it's going to stand up, how it's not going to fall over, how it's coloured, how it's sculpted. That's my absolute favourite cake to make.
Mm.
And also, if we're talking flavour, I would... Sorry, I knew that was going to happen. If we're talking flavour, I would say a good old-fashioned vanilla. A good Victoria sandwich.
You do like a vanilla.
Yeah. Excuse me, I'm just going to shut the door.
Okay.
Not that it's going to shut her up, but yeah, I do like it. If it's well made, a good vanilla. Yeah.
Okay.
So they're mine. What's your favourites?
So my favourite flavour cake to make, there are a few.
Yeah.
I'll keep it my top three. My top three favourite one of the year is a fruit cake near like the Christmas cake fruit cakes.
Really?
Yeah, I love doing that because I feel like I'm making a magical thing for a
wow.
magical season. So I always get like a little
Yeah,
this is
okay.
an amazing cake. Or if I'm doing a fruit cake for a wedding cake, I always do the stir it anti-clockwise 3 times and make a happy wish. So it's like saying things like, so you're not going to get divorced.
Okay.
I love making a lemon drizzle cake.
Yeah, but your lemon drizzle is particularly good.
Because that's what I was going to say, because I
Yeah.
know I can make that really nice.
Yeah,
I've made
your
it
lemon
today,
drizzle
actually.
is one of the
It's
best
so
lemon
nice.
drizzles.
And
Yeah.
I just love the zest, getting exactly the right zest. And
Yeah.
anyway, so yeah. And another one I really like to eat is this cherry bakewell that I do. Oh, it's so good.
You see, I don't like cherries or almonds, so that doesn't
That's
get my
kind of
boat.
like a treat
Yeah.
cake. But the type of cake I really like to make is there's so many, but I'm gonna say when I make a cake and I do beautiful sharp corners, that's the
So
best
what
cake
one
for
you're
me.
proud of, one that
Yeah.
you can look at and go, yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. But there you go.
So something that's your style.
Yeah. Or structured cake. Or a cake that goes out the door and makes me feel like this. Yeah. I rocked that cake.
Oh, perfect. Love it. Right, that is all of our questions. Thank you ever so much to everyone that sent them in.
Yeah, they were really cool questions as well.
They are really good questions. We are going to do another Q&A. I think we're going to try and do one like every 6 months or so, because we really enjoy them. They're good.
Oh, and
Oh,
so we were talking about this earlier. I'm going to throw it in now.
okay, go on.
So, people are going to start going on their holidays soon. It's that time of the year. So, wouldn't it be cool if people were on holiday and they tagged the business of cake making on one of their holiday pics and went, "Hi, the business of cake making. This is
Yes.
where I am."
Well, what was it? What did you call it? Bake
Um,
shops.
Oh yeah, that was it. That was the next idea, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So bake shops of the world.
Bake shops of the world. So wherever you are,
Yeah,
whether it's your hometown, whether you're on holiday, UK, America, the
yeah,
world,
yeah. Because imagine, oh, when you go to America,
we get so
the
animated.
the bake shops over there are
Yeah.
just yeah. When you go on holiday, do you tend to try and go? Well, is there a bake shop in
Yeah,
this?
I always even like if you
Yeah,
go to like Greece or Italy, like
yeah,
Italy, and you've got all those Italian pastries,
yeah.
and Greece, and you've got
And
all like the
Paris.
oh yeah. So I mean, Greece. Where is it that you get like the baklava and all that kind of stuff? And
That's Greece, isn't it? Turkey.
yeah, all around there. So yeah.
Yeah.
So if you go to a cake shop or a bake shop, go on.
Philippines. Oh my God, their cakes are amazing. Yeah.
So
Bake
yeah.
shops of the world.
So wherever you are, if it's a traditional cake shop, if it's a cupcake shop, if it's a bakery, wherever you are, please take a picture of it and tag us in it because we would
Oh, that'd
love.
be so cool, wouldn't it?
We can have a little collage of where everyone's
Yeah.
been.
Yeah. I'm going to Cyprus this year, so
Oh,
I
we're looking
I
forward to it.
know that I'm going to meet someone over there. Very exciting.
We're going to the Lake District, but I'm sure there's somewhere in the Lake District I can go.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, you're meeting a listener, aren't you?
yeah. I
In
am.
Cyprus. How
Yeah,
exciting.
I
Right,
know.
so then that also brings us on to we are going to start. So this is the last of our 6 weeks. When we come back, we are going to do a couple of new features. So bake shops of the world would be good, but also listener comments. So we get lots of lovely, lovely comments. And we get comments from people that are telling us they're listening, why they're listening, what they like about it, etc., etc., etc. And we get that warm, fuzzy feeling, and we get to enjoy it. But we want to share them.
Mm,
So if you comment on an Instagram post, on a Facebook post, in the Facebook group, or even on the Apple podcast reviews,
mm.
we are going to do listener comments. We're going to pick our favourites whenever they come up, and we want to share them, and we will obviously name check you
Yeah, and
because
um, we're on Audible as well. You can find
apparently
us
you
on
said that.
Audible.
Yeah,
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 check
Audible
us
too.
out.
We are just so cool.
We're
We are just so
smoking.
cool. Right, okay. The last one for 6 weeks. What you
I've
got?
got a very dry mouth tonight, but I forgot to sing it. You forgot that bit.
Yeah, get on with it.
Product of the week, product of the week, product of the week. There you go, super quick.
You know, with all these like new things, like listener comments and bake shops of the world,
Yeah,
we're going to need new theme tunes.
yeah. Oh, well, that's all right.
That's all right. That's
Not a
all right.
problem. They may all be different every time.
Right, what have you got then?
Okay,
I know
so
what you've got because you've
oh
been
yeah.
using it.
So, I use these all the time. They are a pair of teeny tiny nail scissors. You know, like the ones you get in those. Somebody will
Oh,
give
in
you
your
a Christmas.
manicure sets.
Yes, your
Yes.
manicure set, and
Yeah.
they're
And they've got
teeny
little
tiny.
gadgets in them that you don't know what they're for. Do you
Yeah,
pick your ears with them? Do you do your
yeah,
nails with them? Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
These are the scissors that come out of those one of those kits.
Yeah.
And some of them have got the scissory bit, the blades
Yeah.
are bent inwards
Yes.
sometimes.
Yeah.
So I use these ones don't, but I like the ones that have the
Bent
little
in
bend in
blades.
them
But they're
because
really
I
fine. I mean, those
yeah
ones, they're like
really
knitting
tiny.
needles.
Yeah, they're really tiny, and you can use them to make Christmas trees. So
Yeah.
you make a triangle shape
Cone.
cone shape with your sugar paste and you go around it and you can make the fir tree branches
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
it. You can use it on a bunny's tail to make the bunny's
Very
tail look
Easter. Yeah.
bunnery, yes. You can use it
You were talking about
on
fur earlier as well.
Oh yes, you can use it for fur
Yeah.
as well if you just want a little or on ears if you want to cut the ears so that they're or you know sometimes you just want to cut something off.
Yes. Do you know,
Y-
I use scissors a lot.
Mm,
I cut the bottom of like fondant and all sorts of stuff with scissors.
yeah,
Scissors are a very underrated tool, I
yeah.
think.
But these are teeny
Teeny
tiny.
tiny. Oh, and hair. You were talking about hair as well.
Oh yes, yeah. You can make their like hair with it. You know, like
Yeah,
spiky hair. Or
yeah.
I'm doing dust balls today, and I'm using.
What are dust balls?
So you know the Totoro? Have you heard of Totoro? It's
No,
a Japanese like
right.
film anime type thing, and they have little black dust balls with eyes on them,
Oh, so
and
they're
they
little,
go,
little fuzzy balls, are they?
yeah, and they go,
Okay.
and
And
they're
that's
going
what
on my,
you've been making.
yeah, they're going on my wedding cake.
Oh.
Not my wedding cake, but a wedding cake that I'm
A wedding
doing.
cake. So
Yes.
teeny tiny scissors. And where can you get them from? Any Boots, chemist,
Oh my God.
pharmacy?
Yeah. You know, you can buy them like macrame, a manicure set in
Yeah.
the pound shop,
Do you
and
know
they'll
what?
be in
Actually,
there.
I went into WH Smith's the other day looking for a notebook, and they had a manicure set. You know, they do like sets where they're all like
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
designs. One set had a manicure set.
Yeah. You'll get them in there.
Yeah.
So I've stuck them through the dishwasher.
Everything goes through the dishwasher.
Yeah. Yeah. And I use them for a lot of little things.
Excellent.
So that's my product of the week.
Right, okay, so mine is a pair of Bluetooth headphones.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. I got a new phone this week and I've been using my Bluetooth headphones the whole time.
So I've got both headphones and earbuds.
Uh-huh.
So the earbuds they're made by Jabra. The headphones I think they're Sony. The headphones are great in the winter because they keep your ears warm. Not so
Uh-huh.
great in the summer because they make your head hot. So that's when I use my little earbuds. But so when you're listening to a podcast or a book, or because I tend to listen to spoken word when I'm
Yeah.
making, I don't tend to listen to that much music. But you know, when you put your mixer on, if
Yeah.
you've got something on,
Oh
you
my
can't hear it, can you?
God.
So
No,
put your
no.
headphones on, put your earbuds in, listen through your phone. Don't have any cables. That's why it's got to be Bluetooth because
Yeah.
otherwise you'll pull it out your ears and it'll just
Yeah.
be a mess. So yeah, Bluetooth headphones or earbuds to listen to the Business of Cake
This is
Making
Kate making
podcast
podcast.
while you're baking.
Yeah. What a good idea. I have actually done that this week, but I was listening to EastEnders because you don't have to watch it, do you?
I've been listening to the Shamina Begum story this week.
Oh yeah, you did say.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, so yeah, and they just don't get in the way because they're just there in your head. And
Yeah.
the only problem is that I've got like sound counselling ones. So if someone walks in and talks behind me, I can't hear them.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
That's
it's quite
pretty
good.
cool.
So my husband can have a whole conversation with me and I don't hear it.
Yeah. Yeah. Um I was going to say something then it's gone straight out of my head. Subtitles.
Sorry.
I quite often, if I'm watching something, I'll put the subtitles on.
Oh, interesting.
But that was before I had my new phone and it had a new
New
thingy.
headphones.
Oh, and you can answer the telephone without having to
Yes. Yeah, you just
touch your phone.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
just do your head thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah, they I think that I find them invaluable. I think they're
Mm-hmm.
an excellent buy, I would say. And
Yes.
some of them they're not very expensive. You don't have to spend a lot of money
No,
on them.
mine were 20 quid.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
And
And
there are cheaper.
and you get us in your ears for the pleasure
Yeah.
of 20 quid. Right,
I'm gonna
that's
sing.
us for the day for today. So I know I've said this several times now. This is the last for 2 weeks. We've got 2 weeks off.
Yeah.
And then we've got some new guests in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We've got some new features in a
Mm-hmm.
couple of weeks. Yeah, come back. We're missing you already.
Yeah. But are we saying bye or are we going to say don't forget to like, subscribe and share and bear all. And review. And
comment wherever you comment.
yeah.
I will keep tabs on it, and if it's a comment that makes us feel all warm and fuzzy inside, then I will share it on the next episode on our listener comments.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
Right. See ya. Go on.
I just wanted to apologise last week when we did our podcast
For leaving so quickly.
Yeah, I did kind of rush you. And I did think your product of the week was pretty awesome, icing sugar.
Yeah, literally, you just disappeared.
Yeah, I know.
There was no niceties. It was like, yeah, see ya.
Okay, right. I'm going to say
we're
goodbye
going to do it
now.
properly this time.
Yeah. Bye.